Ortiz from Oxnard, California, 26-2 with 21 knockouts. Last June on Boxing After Dark, he was involved in a tough fight against Marcos Maidana. Each fighter was down in round number one. A straight right hand put Ortiz down. Maidana's power started to wear down Ortiz. He suffered bad cuts on the eye and a swollen left eye. He led on all three judges' scorecards, but said he could not continue. He tried to bounce back in his fight after that last December, taking on Antonio Diaz. The older Diaz could not handle the power of Ortiz. It was an easy night for Ortiz, getting back on track with a 7th round stoppage of Tono Diaz.
Let's get this party started. Coming to the ring, vicious Victor Ortiz.
Well, Victor Ortiz still trying to live down that Marcos Maidana fight. Max, we spoke with him during the fighter meetings yesterday. Still not convinced that he's convinced of what happened in that fight.
Yeah, I wanted to know what his feeling was about the responsibility of a fighter. What's a fighter's responsibility? Do they need to be prepared to fight until the very bitter end, even if they know it's a lost cause? Because a lot of North American boxing fans feel that way. And Ortiz said, yeah, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but did not sound convincing. And Bob, it's perfectly legitimate for him to think, you know what, if it's a lost cause, or if I feel it's a lost cause, I'll pack it in and fight another day.
Told us he's not scared of anybody except the scales. He's had a lot of battles to make 140 pounds, made the weight, said he made it comfortably with his new nutritionist. So he says, I have no fear. We'll find out tonight because he's got a tough opponent in front of him. And a veteran fighter in the Galaxy Warrior, Nate Campbell. Nate Campbell, 38 years of age, 33 wins, 5 losses, 25 knockouts. Last stepped into the ring on August the 1st last year, taking on Timothy Bradley for Bradley's 140-pound belt. Now, Campbell told us in the fighter meetings yesterday the game plan was to start off slow. Don't know if he wanted to start off this slow. Complained that he was headbutted. Bradley poured it on, was pounding Campbell around. Fight was ruled a TKO. It was stopped because of the cut. Campbell said he couldn't see. It was ruled a TKO. 23 days later, overturned to a no contest.
And now, here comes the Galaxy Warrior, Nate Campbell.
Nate Campbell held a couple of lightweight belts, could not make 135 pounds. He boxed as an amateur, then he had a job at a Winn-Dixie, and he used to slap box with his friends. And he did really well. One of his buddies said, why don't you get back into boxing? So at the age of 24, he got back into the amateur game, didn't turn pro again until he was 28. He's 38 now. Said, I needed the money. And as he told us yesterday, Max, hey, listen, my whole career I've been going upstream. Why not tomorrow night, meaning tonight?
Yeah, and we saw him upset Juan Diaz. Although Juan Diaz has been upset several times recently, including by Paulie Malignaggi, the B-side of our main event tonight. Nate Campbell's lack of amateur background, his skill level belies the lack of amateur background. He fights like a really experienced veteran, which at this point he is.
And he told us his sparring sessions are better than any opponent Ortiz has ever faced. For the introductions, we set it up to the ring and Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the theater. Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, USA, where tonight it's HBO's Boxing After Dark, a presentation of Golden Boy Promotions, sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter. And this first bout is brought to you by One Punch Productions. All bouts sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission and the 3 judges in position at ringside. Scoring this bout will be Julie Letterman, Tom Schreck, and Don Trella. And inside the ring, the man in charge of the action at the bell, referee Earl Brown. And now 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the super lightweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, officially weighing in at 140 pounds. As a professional, 26 victories, including 21 knockouts, only 2 defeats with 1 draw. From Oxnard, California, Vicious Victor Ortiz. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with purple, officially weighing in at 139 pounds. His professional record, 33 victories, including 25 knockouts, with 5 defeats and 1 bout even. From Jacksonville, Florida, the former unified lightweight champion of the world, Nate, the Galaxy Warrior Campbell.
Victor, Nate. Nate, Victor, you received your instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times, protect yourselves at all times. Anything from here down, hold up, will be considered low. Anything from here down will be considered low. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Victor Ortiz has talent and real star potential. And if you're trying to rehabilitate his image, trying to show people he's not a quitter, Nate Campbell's the last guy you want to put him in the ring with. Nate Campbell is a very tough, savvy veteran, unless the feeling is that he's simply gotten too old. And Bob, maybe Ortiz's camp feels that way after Campbell's performance against Tim Bradley.
This is the 236th round as a professional for 38-year-old Nate Campbell. For Ortiz, the 111th round of his career. Campbell said they picked me because they think I'm shot. Then he motioned as if he was in a wheelchair, and he said, I could wheel myself into the ring. I'm going to beat this kid. We'll find out over the balance of 10 rounds.
If it comes down to a test of wills, it's hard to imagine Campbell getting out-willed, but Ortiz has the kind of precision power punching where if a fighter's simply too old and doesn't have the reflexes anymore, Ortiz can impose himself in a way that it doesn't become a battle of wills. And that's, you'd have to think, what his hope is here tonight.
Ortiz has very good power in both hands. Good jab from Campbell. Ortiz shoved the left back. Combination from Ortiz. Campbell peeks a little smile at his opponent as they reset here in round 1.
Hold him, punch out, punch out.
Good hook by Ortiz. Campbell blocks some of it, and Ortiz goes to the body. Campbell a little short with that jab.
Early on, you see in terms of the confidence of both fighters, Campbell's in control. He seems relaxed and happy to be there, and Ortiz seems on edge. Ortiz is going to have to land something that tells Campbell that he can't just walk in.
Well, because Campbell did not come with a great amateur pedigree, got involved in the sport late. I mean, it's been a hard road for him. As he pointed out, listen, I've sparred with Randall Bailey and Angel Manfredi and Teddy Reed and Shane Mosley. I've gotten great work against great people. I've learned a lot. Nothing's been handed to me. Ortiz, 141 amateur wins, silver medalist at the 02 Junior Olympics. Left hand from Ortiz. Campbell says no.
I don't know. I say yes, I think, Bob. That left hand landed pretty well.
Although usually when the guys shake their head and say no, it means they recognized it.
Yep, although Campbell pushes him back and lands some good body shots.
Ortiz shoves Campbell, and it's being ruled a knockdown from a punch.
4,
Whoa.
5,
Nate
6,
Campbell looks at us in disbelief. It looked like a cuffing punch, but it looked like at the end
it went down, man.
it was Ortiz that pushed him. Earl Brown says you went down, scored a knockdown at the end of round one.
Let's see if he slipped on that sign.
Okay, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's what you're playing.
How you doing?
That's what you're playing. I know that. But guess what you got to do? You got to cut the ring on.
Yes, sir.
You're still chasing it.
All right.
You got just give me that water real quick. Do it around just to the last part.
All right.
Don't worry about it. All right? Give me these feints. Give me the feints.
Right.
Man, this cat's scared. He's scared. He might get a little brave now, which is cool. That's what we want.
Copies.
All right, let's take a look at the end part of the round. There's that little short right hand. You know,
It may have been a knockdown.
been.
It looked like the punch landed and Campbell's legs went a little bit. It's hard to see if
it was a punch and a push all in one motion. It's ruled a knockdown, though.
it's hard to see also if the surface of the ring was slippery and he lost his footing as a result of that. But certainly there was a punch that landed.
And his momentum as he was trying to turn away from it had him falling in that direction. Scored a knockdown for Ortiz. Round number 2 underway, scheduled for 10. Let's see if Campbell changes his temperament a little bit and tries to pick up the pace from a punch output standpoint.
Ortiz is a precision power puncher. Even against Maidana, his loss, he knocked Maidana down. It was a pretty good chin 3 times in that fight.
There's some of the power of Ortiz as he puts his punches together. You heard the corner of Campbell say he's scared. He's going to try to get a little more brave. Let's take advantage of it. So far, Campbell has not done that.
Don't hold him. Let him go. Watch out.
Short right inside from Ortiz. Campbell in that peekaboo defense. Not countering though. Let's see if he can time a right hand. That's what he used against Ali Funiga. Counter right hands over the top. This time Campbell goes to the body of Ortiz with authority.
And there's an opportunity here for Campbell absorbing this punishment. If he can continue to walk through the punches, it sends a message to Ortiz that your best isn't good enough. And given Ortiz's recent history, that may be enough to psychologically swing the fight further in Campbell's favor, although he is absorbing a lot of punishment coming in. Campbell is.
Campbell trying to rough up Ortiz a little bit against the ropes.
Stop punching.
Nice left hand to finish that combination by Ortiz. Snap back the head of Campbell. All the work so far in this round being done by Victor Ortiz. Campbell not moving his hands enough here in round 2.
Campbell's not an overwhelming offensive fighter. He's a good all-around fighter, but he's trying to pressure Ortiz here clearly. And he's not really a volume puncher, Campbell, who's simply going to overwhelm you with offense.
Good left hand to the body by Ortiz to start that last exchange. Final seconds of the second round. Nice combination by Ortiz to punctuate the end of the round. Well, we encourage all of our fans watching on HBO to log on to hbo.com/boxing. You can watch live Punch Zone stats as they happen. Find out where the connects are landing. Simply log on to hbo.com/boxing for live Punch Zone stats.
Keep working that jab. Work that jab a little bit more. But you're doing very good. Very good job on the outside. When he closes up his guard, throw straight to the body, then the hook up to the head. Good. Straight to the body and then hook up top. Straight to the body again and the hook up top.
Don't just catch, all right? All right? You're doing all right, baby. You're doing, I know you're doing it. Just be smart for him, all right?
Be sure you get that water up, please.
According to CompuBox in round number 2, Campbell landed just 2 of 39 punches. That's 5%. Ortiz landed 17 of 47 power shots in the round. of his 18 connects.
And you can see what Campbell is trying to do. He's trying to pressure Ortiz and show him that your best shots don't have an effect. But the fighter doing the doing is Ortiz, who's actually landing all the punches.
I just verbally gave you those numbers. You say, Bob, what are you talking about? We saw the numbers near the end of the round. We actually had them transposed on the graphic. We had them in favor of Campbell. They should have been in favor of Ortiz. But I think if you're just watching it, numbers or not, you can see the power shots and the effective punching of Ortiz, at least through the first 2 rounds. Ortiz with a good sharp uppercut inside. Campbell digs a right hand to the body. Ortiz going to work. Good left hand. Campbell says, come on, and Ortiz says, sure.
You might, whether or not Ortiz could convince Campbell's head that he can't continue is one question, but Ortiz lands enough clean, hard shots, he can convince Campbell's legs not to continue. You know, he can short-circuit Campbell, and then all the will in the world doesn't matter.
Good straight left hand by Ortiz. Good left hand again by Ortiz. Right on the button.
Okay, let him go. Break. Stop punching. Stop punching.
You know, Campbell told us in the fight against Bradley, we showed you the clips before the fight, and he had that bad cut. It was eventually ruled a no contest, that his game plan was to start slow. We showed you in the highlights that Bradley was just pouring it on. Maybe not to the same level, but Ortiz is just connecting and connecting here.
Well, Campbell said his strategy against Bradley was to start slow.
Watch out. Let him go. Let him go.
And if that was the strategy then, he executed it perfectly. And he may be executing the same strategy here tonight because he's not very busy.
Good left hand by Ortiz again. And the difference, Max, in the Funiga fight when he started slowly, and the Bradley, those are all scheduled 12 rounds. This is scheduled for 10. Good shot from Ortiz again. Opening up with the power again here in round 3.
And by the way, Ortiz, I know I've mentioned it, but he's a terrific puncher. Campbell is taking some tremendous shots here. Not too many have landed really cleanly. Campbell's keeping his hands up high. Some of them have, and Campbell has walked through them to his credit.
Campbell steps in with a power shot of his own.
Let him go, Nate.
We'll see if there's a change in the game plan from Campbell, because through these first 3 rounds, Ortiz has been able to dictate the action and get his power shots off. End of round number 3 in the scheduled 10-rounder. Tune in May 18th for the next Real Sports. We'll profile Lance Mackey, 4-time defending champion of the Iditarod sled dog race, 1,100 miles across Alaska in temperatures that reach 70 below. And World Championship Boxing is back June the 5th. 154-pound title holder Yuri Foreman takes on Miguel Cotto. Live from Yankee Stadium, the location of so many big fights over the years. It'll be the first fight at Yankee Stadium since Ali Norton, 1976, and that controversial Ali win.
I got you right here. Stay relaxed, listen. Yeah, move that head.
All right. Seconds out.
Be smart.
Seconds out.
So Ortiz and Campbell embark upon round number 4, and we welcome in our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. 3-0, 30-26. Vicious Victor Ortiz. You know, Bob, I hate to say this, but after watching 3 rounds of this, I'm convinced that Nate Campbell is suffering from I can't pull the trigger syndrome. I mean, Victor Ortiz showing us beautiful ring generalship. Goes to the left, goes to the right. Campbell catches up and can't turn a punch loose. Look, he's looking at him. He can't let it go. And this has been going on for 3 rounds already. Victor Ortiz punching him around, landing the cleaner, harder shots. Campbell, I mean, when you land 2 punches in a round, you ain't getting off, brother. And that's when he landed the second round. 3-0, Ortiz.
You could make the case, Max, that this actually started 6 rounds ago in the Bradley fight.
That's right. And maybe that's why Ortiz's camp takes this fight, because they figured that Campbell is slowed down enough to not be quite as dangerous as he was a couple years ago. when a southpaw fighter, a fighter who leads with his right hand, fights an orthodox fighter, a fighter who leads with his left hand. Ortiz, you see, leads with his right. He's a southpaw, and Campbell's a righty. Look at the position of their front foot. The struggle in terms of the geometry of the ring is who can establish their lead foot on the outside of their opponent's lead foot. Here, the problem, one of the problems for Campbell is even when he gets his lead foot outside of Ortiz's lead foot, forcing Ortiz to move clockwise, a direction that southpaws generally don't want to move, even when Ortiz moves clockwise, he still lands the better punches.
And again, you know, Nate Campbell, the punches are just few and far between as far as any effective shots. Ortiz just dips and dances away from danger, and then he scores the telling blow.
Here you see again, Campbell's at times getting his lead foot outside and forcing Victor Ortiz to move clockwise, and it doesn't matter. Victor Ortiz steps around and lands straight left hands like that one, which from that position is difficult to do unless you have a tremendous advantage in speed.
Good left hand to the body and then a right hook to the body by Ortiz. Puts his punches together, then moves away. No counter shots at all coming from Campbell. It's easy right now for Victor Ortiz.
Break. Vic, watch your head, all right? Watch your head.
And again, we roll to the end of another round, a round controlled by Victor Ortiz. This Nate Campbell, not busy, not throwing power punches, and not getting a lot done. Still to come in our main event. He's 23 years of age. Won a silver medal in the 2004 Olympic Games. Amir Khan makes his United States debut at Madison Square Garden, 22-1, with 16 knockouts on his resume, as he'll square off against a New York native, Brooklyn's own Paulie Malignaggi, the Magic Man, 29 years of age. He was a former belt holder in this weight class, 27-3 with 5 knockouts. A lot of ill will between these two, a lot of jabbing in the press verbally. They'll let their hands fly in tonight's main event here on Boxing After Dark.
An
uppercut with whatever hand in the hook. Or change it, the uppercut and the straight shot. Come on, shake it off, smash, pop the punches. You can do it, you can knock him down.
Well, you take a look at the averages as we begin round number 5 from CompuBox. Campbell is averaging 6 connects per round, which is 15%. Not overly active, 42 punches per round. Ortiz, a modest 49 punches per round, landing about 12 a round, but all power shots.
Let him go, punch out,
you know, it's harder to let your hands go.
Punch out.
At Campbell's age or any age,
come on, Vic.
when what's coming back at you is as hard and precise as what Ortiz throws back. When Campbell upset Juan Diaz, Diaz throws a ton of punches, but they're not big punches. They don't land with knockout power. There you see Ortiz, when he hits you, you know he hits you. And so to pull the trigger becomes doubly hard when you know it comes with a real price to pay.
And you know what? Good left hand by Ortiz. Max, that was, you know, a tick over 2 years ago. Campbell was 36. Now he's 38. See right here, Campbell not letting his hands go. Allowing Ortiz to just milk seconds out of a round. Did not land cleanly. Controversial knockdown scored on behalf of Ortiz in round number 1.
Campbell landed his first real punch of several rounds earlier this round, a right hand, and Ortiz has been a little bit on his bicycle since then.
After the Maidana loss, Ortiz came back against a real solid pro in Antonio Diaz, but a young man well past his prime. And Ortiz was able to walk through him, but Campbell has not been able to do what Maidana did and put that pressure on Ortiz. Now Ortiz might have caught one on the chin and looked a little off balance.
Well, it was the right hand from Maidana that Ortiz had no answer for. And it was the right hand that Campbell caught Ortiz with earlier in this round that put Ortiz, I think, on his bicycle a bit. But Maidana was willing to pay the price. Maidana's a young, hungry fighter who hasn't been to the top yet and was willing to get up off the canvas 3 times in order to land his own punches. And
let him go, Victor, let him go.
Maybe Campbell's not willing to go to the same lengths to expose himself to the extent that Maidana was in order to land those right hands.
Nothing really landing cleanly there, but it's Ortiz just sort of teeing off on Campbell. And although Campbell is blocking a lot of it, there's nothing coming back.
Go hold him, Victor, let go. Break. Time.
End of round 5, midway point of the fight.
I know you did. Listen, don't throw the right hand. Loop it in. Loop that right hand for me. Get a little closer and loop that right hand for me, all right?
Deep breath.
But keep doing what you're doing. That was a good round for you. That's what you got to do.
Keep breath and move that head. You understand?
Yeah.
Come on. We go.
All right, I'm gonna warn him for warning you for your head. Just watch your head, all right? All right, nothing
Put it
serious.
down, ball.
Yeah, just watch your head, all right?
That was a good round. That's all you got to do. Move that head, beat.
Cuide la derecha.
Be careful with that right
I
hand.
warned him for his head. I need to warn you a little bit too, but you're holding. You gotta watch the holding, all right?
He holds on one side.
No. But you're holding more than him. So just watch the holding, all
Agua.
right?
Victor, no necesitas abrazar,
Water.
Victor. No
Victor, you
necesitas.
don't have to clinch him. You don't have
No,
to.
no necesitas.
You
Te
don't
estás-
have
te estás
to.
controlando cuando lo abrazas. No lo abraces. No lo abraces. Ciérrese, Redito.
Get that water up, please.
We'll see if Campbell can land those looping right hands that trainer John David Jackson asked for. We begin round number 6.
I love the refereeing in between rounds from Earl Brown. Talk about soft warnings. There was no big deal, but Ortiz was holding a little bit, and he wanted Campbell to watch the head, and he said, just a little bit, watch the head, watch the holding.
See if Campbell can get some offense going. You know, Nate Campbell grew up in the hard ghetto of Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, the right hand is starting to do some business for, look at Ortiz's face. He's really wincing from that right hand to the body, Bob.
Definitely caught his attention. You know, Campbell was telling us yesterday about his upbringing as a foster child in the ghetto of Jacksonville. And he used to cut lawns so that he could go on field trips in order to culture himself. He didn't want to just be some kid that didn't know anything about the world. He's got an appreciation for art. Right now, he's getting painted over by the power of Ortiz.
They better get appreciation for rope-a-dope, because Ortiz was landing some vicious shots. But Campbell continues to press. And he found something with the right hand, which, as I mentioned, the same punch Maidana started landing to the head and more significantly in this round to the body, I think.
And you know, that's what he did against Funiga as well, because Funiga would keep his left hand low, his jab hand. He's a conventional fighter, and Campbell started looping right hands and scoring with him. He scored 2 knockdowns in that fight.
And Campbell's a real veteran. Ooh. That is the danger in starting to exchange with Ortiz, Bob, at Campbell's age. His punches will get there first because they're more precise and quicker. And they carry concussive force. But Campbell, the veteran, he sees the right hand lands to the body, he goes right back to it until Ortiz shows him he has an answer for it.
One of the things that you notice Ortiz as he switches to right-handed for a moment, one thing Ortiz tends to do is when he moves away from Campbell, he drops his left hand. And that's where Campbell's been able to land a couple of those overhand right hands. See right there, Ortiz went back, he drops his left hand. Let's see if Campbell can time that.
Campbell does have a very good overhand right. As you mentioned, he used it to great effect against Funiga.
Not enough punches coming from Nate Campbell. as we end round number 6. Well, we're in New York City, Madison Square Garden. Earlier tonight, Danny Jacobs, 19-0 with 16 knockouts out of Brooklyn, New York. He's 23 years of age. Took on Juan Astorga of Mexico. That left hook to the body and then that left to the chin. Knocked down number 1 in round number 1. Jacobs knew that he had the artillery in this fight against Ortega, and he really left nothing to chance. Dropped Astorga, he dropped him a couple times in round 1 and in round number 2, and Astorga just did not have the speed, the quickness to deal with Jacobs, who gets win number 20 and stoppage number 17.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
Love the way Jacobs stepped around and landed that body punch to end the fight.
Jacobs, like the Statue of Liberty, raised his hand in victory with that impressive performance. Will it be Ortiz and Campbell in our first
Neutral corner
bout?
Come on, y'all guys gotta get this water up.
Clean out some of the water in the corner. With that said, let's check in with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. 6-0, 60-53. Vicious Victor Ortiz. I got to tell you, Bob, he just keeps pounding on Nate Campbell. You know, Nate's got his hands up high in front of his eyes, just like you see there. And I swear to God, half the time, I'm sitting there wondering if he sees the punches coming, because Victor keeps changing direction. Nate Campbell trying to, you know, assume this defensive posture, not punching. He's trying to block Victor's shots, which he's not doing too well, and Victor's just pounding on him. I mean, beautiful ring generalship by Victor Ortiz. Good, hard, effective punching by Victor Ortiz. Good defense by Victor Ortiz. He's got it all in his fight. 6-0, Victor Ortiz.
Harold, it's hard to dispute your scorecard. There was that controversial knockdown at the end of round number 1 in which Ortiz landed a right hand. Looked like he might have pushed Campbell a little bit. He went down. They ruled it a knockdown. Max, you know, Campbell, if he doesn't get things going, he's going to wind up losing a unanimous decision if he doesn't get stopped at some point here. Are we going to hear from Campbell after the fight? Well, you know, he did a lot of running. He didn't want to fight from Ortiz.
Yeah, but you got to engage your opponent in the fight, and Campbell is, you know, Harold mentions that his defense isn't that effective. It is effective in the sense that Campbell hasn't been hit flush in his face too often. He's picked off, at least partially, a lot of the shots upstairs from Ortiz. And maybe if he exchanges more with Ortiz, he doesn't pick off as many of those shots, and he's not still standing.
That straight left hand landed flush. There's a hook with the right hand that scored as well. And then Campbell pumps out one punch. To this point, Max, are you impressed with what you've seen out of Victor Ortiz?
Yeah, I think that the calculus of Golden Boy with their Golden Boy here so far has looked very good. They're going to put, it looks as though at this moment, Ortiz is on his way to putting a name on his resume that helps dispel concerns about his willingness
Come on, watch your head, Vic.
to, you know, fight and beat a real opponent who continues to try to win, because that's certainly Campbell's reputation coming into this fight.
The naysayers will say, you know what, this is a shot Campbell right now.
And that's part of, you know, it's one thing to go through the motions to appear to try to win, and that can, it almost sounds obnoxious when you see the kind of punishment that Campbell is accepting in this fight, and he continues to press forward at 38 years old. But this is not a Campbell who seems to be willing to take offensive risks that he's going to have to take in order to turn this fight around. And that's part of what being a shot fighter is.
Yeah, we talked about 2 years ago that win against Juan Diaz. 2 years ago in that fight, Campbell averaged 95 punches thrown per round. Here he's averaging about 35 punches thrown per round. Well, he's done a lot of talking. Now he's got to use his fist. Paulie Malignaggi getting ready, going through the final preparations in his own backyard, New York City, as he will try to take away the belt held by Amir Khan in tonight's main event. Khan hails from Bolton, England, 22 wins, the 1 loss, 16 knockouts, holds a 140-pound belt. A star in England, trying to bring his star across the pond to the United States and trying to make it on Broadway in his USA debut.
puede también. Usted es más rápido que él, usted es más bueno que él.
You can do it. You're faster than he is. You're better than he is.
Usted es más bueno que él.
You're better than he is. Come on, be faster. Be faster. Be ballsy. Let's go.
We're at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Bob Papa, Max Kellerman ringside. HBO's Boxing After Dark. Round number 8 underway in this 10-round showdown between Victor Ortiz of Oxnard, California, and veteran Nate Campbell in the 140-pound weight class. Still to come in our main event, Amir Khan makes his USA debut. He puts his 140-pound title on the line against Paulie Malignaggi. That's coming up in our main event on HBO's Boxing After Dark.
Campbell threw a right hand that missed by so much about 20 seconds ago. It really did look like a gun-shy veteran in the sense that the right hand was thrown but not extended to really land because it would have left Campbell vulnerable for a counter.
Come on, Victor, keep punching up.
Right now, you get the only feel that I get is when Ortiz backs away from what he appears or what he feels is away from danger. He drops his left hand. Can Campbell step in and touch that chin with some kind of effectiveness? You know, when Ortiz gets into his movement, Max, one of the other things that Campbell is not doing, and this is a guy with a lot of experience. This is his 243rd round as a pro. He's not cutting the ring off. He's just chasing Ortiz.
Yeah, and if he's setting Ortiz up for something, I can't see what it is. There you see Ortiz again, moving clockwise, not the way a southpaw generally wants to move. Now he switches direction, but still getting off shots and landing straight left hands from angles that a southpaw shouldn't be able to land them. It just demonstrates his good right hand from Campbell.
A short right uppercut inside by Campbell.
Let him go, Vic. Let him go. Break.
But it's noticeable because there have been so few of those kind of shots from Campbell. And you almost don't notice it as much when Ortiz sends the sweat flying from Campbell because he does it so frequently.
And, you know, although Campbell will make the case afterwards, I blocked a lot of these shots, I didn't land cleanly. When you're being outworked on this level and when the opponent gets in enough clean shots that take notice and you're not throwing back, how could you make a case for it?
Come on. Let him go, let him go, let him go.
Ortiz caught the end of that punch, although the crowd oohed, no real effect.
Time.
End of round number 8. Back to the drawing board for Nate Campbell. See an encore play of a favorite HBO sports documentary every Thursday throughout the summer. July the 1st, the series kicks off with Joe Louis, America's hero, betrayed.
You got to make him fight. That's all you got. You got to make him fight at this point.
About to hold it, all right?
Yes, sir.
Come on, listen. Y'all fighting a good fight, man. Come on, keep it clean.
I'm trying.
Okay. You got to fight this cat. When he grabbing you, holding you, get whatever hand's free, break it and try to break his rib. Okay.
Watch the holding, all right? Come on. No. You're holding. You got to watch the
No
holding.
necesitas abrazarlo, Víctor.
You don't need to clinch, Victor. I told you a couple of times already.
Pega así los brazos.
Because he hits you if you clinch. When you clinch, he hits you in the head. You don't need to clinch. Keep your hands tight up and move, bend your waist, and get off on the inside.
Y'all get that water up, please. Make sure you get that water up.
Victor Ortiz and Nate Campbell begin round 9. Max, referee Earl Brown has been quite diligent in sort of warning each corner about holding. I don't feel that there's been excessive holding, do you?
Well, that may be because early on in this fight, he gave them a soft warning but pointed it out. And I like that. Why should there be any holding unless it's absolutely necessary if they get tangled up or one fighter gets really badly hurt?
Come on, don't hold him, don't hold him.
I love it. I wish more refs would enforce no holding.
Ortiz puts his punches together.
Don't hold him, let him go, let him go.
And it's Ortiz who's being forced not to hold here. It's being pointed out to him, and it's making him fight really a better fight in many ways. He's forced to move his hands.
Some swelling under the left eye of Campbell. There's Ortiz. He keeps that left hand down, and he got tapped with that right.
And the no holding gives Campbell chances in the last round that he may not otherwise have.
Both exchange big shots here in the ninth.
You know, I've been focusing a lot on the story of Nate Campbell, and we've been discussing his age and how he looks old and gun-shy. Ortiz has fought a very good fight, Bob.
Very disciplined. Stuck to his game plan.
And for those who would say, well, if Campbell is indeed, you know, it turned into an old 38, why hasn't Ortiz just walked through him? Campbell's a very prideful guy, a skilled veteran, tough, strong fighter, and not so easy to walk through Nate Campbell.
Let me ask you this, though. One of the themes in which we started this telecast off with was about star power. We're going to see Amir Khan coming up in our main event. Has Ortiz done enough, though, to wow you?
No, but I don't think he's at the point in his career after the loss to Maidana where the imperative is to wow the audience yet. I think it's still to get him back to where he was. And I do think that this fight takes a step in that direction. Ortiz has here won almost every moment of a 10-round fight.
I always think back to what you say when you look at a round. Who would you rather be in the round? And it's hard to find one round where you would want to have been Nate Campbell.
No. Maybe, you know, his most success came in round one, and that was really more of a psychological win where he just seemed more comfortable than Ortiz. And here we see him pressing, but too little, too late. Campbell landing some good punches this round. Not enough.
It's the end of round number 9 with one more to go in this 10-round showdown in 140 pounds.
That's all he can do is run and try to pity patch you. That was a good round. Now, that was a good round. That's what you got to give him. You got to give me a little bit more. All right? Hey, don't try that and do it. I'm not going to run.
My hip tight, man.
Okay, well, guess what? You get close and punch. You get close and punch. I thought if he run too much, step in the middle ring and make him come to you. Don't chase him.
Soy fuerte.
Strong, strong. You're doing a good job. Good job. Keep moving just like that. Keep moving just like that. Nice and fast. A little bit faster because he's going to come out with everything, Victor. Listen to me well. He's going to come out with everything because he's losing. And he's going to want to pop you. Careful that right.
Last round, baby. Be smart, but let him go. All right? Paint your way in.
Seconds out.
Come on. Last one. Last one.
Yeah, you heard Campbell say my hip is tightening. A lot of let's go, come on.
Guys. Good fight, last round.
Good round, but not really. Here's what you need to do to deliver that right hand against Ortiz to change his fight. He needs a knockout, in our opinion, to win.
And that's part of getting older. Campbell's 38 years old. Your hip tightens up in a tough 10-round fight. We did see Campbell land more clean punches last round than he has in maybe any other round of the fight. And insofar as he's gotten closer or found the range, he better exploit that right now. He looks like a beaten fighter right now, Campbell does.
Every time he gets hit, he shakes his head. No, that didn't hurt. But they're clean. He's acknowledging the clean punches that are landing. Campbell has never recorded a knockout past the 8th round. We are in round number 10. Nothing awesome there out of Ortiz, but he's just moving his hands, and there's no counter shots coming back from Campbell.
The other thing about the counters with Campbell is it's not just like Ortiz is throwing one or a 1-2. He's throwing combinations. So even when and he has faster hands and he hits hard. So even if Campbell wants to punch with Ortiz, because he knows he can't beat him to the punch, but maybe he can land something in an exchange, he's dissuaded from doing that because there are 3 and 4 punches coming at him at a time.
I bought into the hype a little bit coming into this fight from Nate Campbell. I thought maybe he still had
break, don't punch, break, don't punch.
a couple of shots left in him, but he just really hasn't shown anything.
Because Nate Campbell can talk you into anything. I mean, if you talk to Nate Campbell long enough, you believe that he's the greatest pound-for-pound fighter who ever lived. He's very convincing. He's very charming.
Come on, Nate, keep the punches up.
And I think there's a tendency for boxing fans, for the boxing fan in all of us, to root for guys like Nate Campbell who haven't had it easy, who haven't had things handed to them. The perception is that Victor Ortiz has.
Well, also it felt like an unsure Ortiz that we talked to in the fighter meetings yesterday. Maybe that was part of why I felt that way.
And this fight is part of the process of him getting more sure of himself. And I think we've seen that throughout the course of this fight. Ortiz becoming increasingly confident, and that's the point here, folks.
Good fight, guys. Good fight. Good fight.
And there's the bell to end it. Ortiz and Campbell through 10 rounds. And Victor Ortiz, worked and worked and worked. And you wonder for 38-year-old Nate Campbell what the future holds for him. Just could not let the hands go. And this is a kind of a continuation of the Bradley fight in a lot of ways. And Harold didn't find a round to give Nate Campbell. Remember, there was that controversial knockdown at the end of round number 1. And, pretty much all Ortiz, as he landed 109 of 319 power shots. In round number 1, right near the end of the round, Max, here was the knockdown. It's going to be a right hand right there that hit the ear. Was it a push? The gloves touched. Ruled a knockdown by referee Earl Brown.
Technical knockdown. I mean, I suppose it is a knockdown, but unfortunate.
And then just clean punching from Victor Ortiz. I mean, he was able to control the ring and sort of dictate the terms. And, Campbell's saying, what's that? What are you throwing? Well, there's a straight left hand right on the button. Campbell landed cleanly.
Campbell.
Kansas, rock chalk. Okay, go ahead, Victor. Baby Kylie, what's going on, girl? They want him in the center.
Campbell tried to con Ortiz out of the fight, and Ortiz would not be conned.
Let's take a look at the judges for tonight's fight. Julie Letterman, 24 title fights. Julie, the daughter of Harold Letterman, one of the 3 judges that will score this bout between Campbell and Ortiz. Tom Schreck out of New York, 6 title fights. Pacquiao's decision over Barrera in their second fight, had it right. Don Trella from Connecticut, 10 title fights under his resume as well. Now let's get the official judges' scores as we send it up to the ring and Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Both Julie Letterman and Don Trella scored about 100 to 89. Tom Schreck has it 99 to 90. All to the winner by unanimous decision, vicious Victor Ortiz.
So Victor Ortiz with a unanimous decision victory as he takes care of Nate Campbell in easy fashion. And we take a look at the final CompuBox numbers in this fight for Madison Square Garden. And you see that Campbell only threw 43 punches per round. Ortiz 50, not a huge number again in this weight class. Ortiz landed 24% of his punches in the fight, and he did it with his power punches in this fight as he landed 34% of his power shots, 109 of 319, as Campbell just was never able to let the hands go and fire here tonight, losing a unanimous 10-round decision here at Madison Square Garden. Now we focus in on the punch zone stats of those 109 power shots. You see that in this fight,
The fact that Ortiz was able to land those shots to the head, and that's where he did most of his work, right to the head of Nate Campbell. It said Khan Malinaji, but it was, trust us, Ortiz and Nate Campbell.
Khan and Malinaji are fast, but they're not that fast.
So that's how the fight ends here at Madison Square Garden, the first of our doubleheader in the 140-pound weight class from Madison Square Garden. We are on Broadway tonight.